overnight. And doesn't mean, and for anybody who thinks somehow we're going to go back to the glory days of the working in the graves with Paul Tanaka, absolutely not. Whoever came up with that dumb idea, no, we're not. What we're going to do is we're going to work harder, we're going to work smarter, and with confidence that you have the backing of the deputies, and deputies have the backing of you, of your community. They're going to go find those things that go bump in the night that you're afraid of, and you call 911. They're going out there on your behalf. You want them empowered to do that. You want them empowered to do those traffic stops on those people in that car that look suspicious, that don't look like they belong here, and just ask two simple questions. Who are you, and what is your business here in my community? That's it. That is really the essence of basic law enforcement services and first responders in any community in our nation. And when we answer those two questions, okay, now we get it. Okay, you're a relative of someone in the neighborhood, you're a lawful business person in the neighborhood, or whatever it is. Alternatively, you're Porsche pilot. You're cruising through, you get a bunch of back of FedEx boxes in the back seat. All different addresses. How'd that work out? You're not in a FedEx truck. See? You kind of see how things work, and that you want your deputies to be curious. You want them to be courageous in figuring out what are the bad guys up to, how can we stop them, how can we protect your community. So they're your first line of defense, and we need to support them in what they do. My job as sheriff is also to support them. So we kind of both together actually working. 4-year degree, consistent with the National Association of Chiefs of Police standards for your chief of police. Of course, we have to do some grandfathering from people that are already sitting on maybe 30 years. They might have a high school education. Can I demand them to go back and get a bachelor's degree at 30 years? Probably not. But everybody has college credits already. If you're in this line of work, you get college credits for waking up almost. So they just, I tell them, just go to East LA College, you drive in one side, you walk out the other side with the AA degree. It's not that hard. What we want to do is we want to raise standards. We want to give you the best employee we possibly can who can serve your community as your chief of police. And that's my obligation, and that's my commitment to you. And I'm giving to you that authority to pick the one that you believe will be your best representative for your community. That is part of the reform effort. It's not the one that the LA Times likes to talk about a lot. They'd rather be thinking about the other areas, but it all goes towards the same cause, which is we're converting a cronyism-driven organization into a merit-driven organization. Every single component of it is going to happen this way. Bit by bit, we're going to get there. And just like throughout my career, I'm living life in fast forward now, as you can tell. I've only been in, I think, as of yesterday, this is my 3-month mark. I haven't hit the 100-day yet. And I've already been declared, I know all kinds of untold things by the LA Times editorial board. They seem to like me a lot. But just like all those critics from my past on the department, where did they wind up? On the wrong side of history. Yep. Stick to my guns. If you think I'm doing something wrong, please let me know, and I'm just as prone to make mistakes as the next person.
Los organizadores de ese evento, y quiero dejarles saber que no es por coincidencia que soy el primer alguacil hispanoparlante en más de 128 años. Quiero representar a toda la comunidad, pero quiero dejarles saber que tienen un amigo en la oficina de alguacil del Condado de Los Ángeles. Muchas gracias por lo que están haciendo y quiero que todos se sientan invitados y parte de la familia que es el condado del departamento de alguacil y las estaciones aquí locales, el de Palmdale y el de Lancaster. Y si tienen cualquier queja o pregunta, por favor déjenos saber. Y vamos a tener hispanoparlantes trabajando a las llamadas de emergencia también. Y los números de queja igualmente, para que puedan comunicar sin ningún barrera. Okay, gracias.
They want to go to work, they'll hop to work on one leg to get there. And that's what's happening right now. People are hopping to work on one leg. And people pulling back. And people pulling back their workers' comp claims, and they're feeling good. They're back to work, which means you as a taxpayer, how many taxpayers, homeowners, raise your hand? That bill you're about to write on April 10th, I'm trying to shrink it as much as I can on my part. I can't speak about the other 36 department heads. At least from my side, workers' comp claims known last year cost the county $193 million. Our department. That's a big chunk of change. And it was growing exponentially every year. It was like a massive uptick. We're trying to bring that now, going down the other side, back down. Because then that means I can afford more resources to serve you. So there's a direct relationship between the morale of the organization and your public safety. And I'm working on that. Time still hasn't figured that one out yet, but they'll get there one day, right? So any questions from anybody?
I don't do state legislator in our basic post academy. And how many hours? Actually, we have an 8-hour course on implicit bias that we have our deputies go through. So we're working on that regard. On the other issue regarding the detention, you are 100% correct. Very vague general description. For example, the one we hear often down in the south end of town, male Hispanic, 5'6", 650, black or brown. Okay, that narrows it down to about 50% of the population. Could we be more specific than that? On the other stream, it can be kind of funny because East LA Station has a habit of when a deputy does a crime broadcast for other deputies, there's always someone from East LA says where they're wearing a hat. So someone from West Hollywood got real smart one day because they had a robbery suspect description. He was a male, white t-shirt, blue jeans, green mohawk. Of course, the East LA deputy wasn't paying attention and did the dumb, was he wearing a hat? West Hollywood guy couldn't resist. He said, what part of the green mohawk did you get?
So yeah, no matter what section of the public it is, what element, either at the local, state, federal level, county level, what department you work in, you're the executive branch, legislative branch, your judicial branch, you serve for a greater cause than yourself. And that is true for every single person, be it an elected person, or someone who's civil service protected, temporary employee. And I remember during my time on the department, people would say, oh, I work for so-and-so. I tell them, no, you don't work for that person or that person. You work for the people.
Yep.
And I say this today, no one works for me, I work for you. Okay? Every single one of my subordinates does not work for their higher up, their direct report. They work for the community, for the people. And that is also important because when we lose sight of that, that's when the troubles begin.